Good morning, and thank you very much, and good morning, everyone. I see a lot of familiar faces and definitely a lot of athletic souls here, so it's great to see you, and it's really wonderful to be able to be at this launch of the Royal Victoria Marathon for the City of Victoria, and I'm glad you gave out all those statistics because it is important to acknowledge that not only is this a great sporting event, it's also a great economic driver for us. And for those who come to this marathon for the very first time to see what the city has to offer, for those of us who grew up here, born and raised here, we know what the city has to offer. But what we really have to offer are our people and our volunteer base and the wonderful route that has been laid out. I've been along the marathon route. I haven't run in the marathon, I admit that, but I have been along the marathon route and cheering people for about 4 hours. From the very early morning till mid-afternoon, watching people coming through. And you know, when they reach that halfway mark and people clap for them and they know they've gotten to the halfway mark, you suddenly see that boost of energy they get because there are those cheerleaders. So I want to thank all those of you who come out and cheer on as well, because that too is really important to give them that extra energy. When I listened as well, when you talked about the older individuals who run, it's wonderful to see that people take up the challenge of wanting to have more physical activity in their lives. I'm glad to see Kelly Mann here from our BC Game Society, because he knows all too well, as one of the individuals who is involved with our BC Seniors Games, how many of our older participants continue to get involved each and every year, whether it's through winter or summer sports, that continue to surprise us all who will run great lengths. I just want to acknowledge that, as you've indicated, 30 years for any event is a milestone. Whether it's a festival, whether it's a sports event, that's an incredible milestone. So I want to congratulate all the organizers, and especially Rob Reed and your people, and especially for allowing us to have this launch here. An incredible job. There you are, Rob. Thanks so much for your work. To hear about all the international people coming as well, you know, not just limited to this province, not just to this country, I think you know, it bodes well for us, because you know, in 126 days we're going to be really welcoming the world when we host the 2010 Winter Paralympic Games. And I think even in this running event, there may be people training just to get their stamina, just to get used to the climate that we have here in British Columbia. So I wouldn't be surprised if you saw some other Olympians joining in, even if they don't run to compete to win, but just ensuring that they have that opportunity to get ready for us here in British Columbia.
Our sincere thanks to Minister Chong, and at this time we'd like to introduce His Worship, the Mayor, Dean Fortin.
Thank you for this opportunity to address you today. Let's begin by starting off by recognizing the Songhees and the Esquimalt nations on whose traditional territories we meet. Aichka, welcome. And truly, that's what this event is. It's a welcome to the world. It is a small event that we laugh about, thinking that 30 years ago, there's a bunch of runners locally, checked the couch, couldn't find enough change to catch the ferry to go over to the Vancouver Marathon, and decided that they would organize their own. From that first run of 750 people to what we have now today, nearing 12,000 people from around the world, you really get a sense, as the Minister has said, that now is the time for Victorians. Now is Victoria's time. As we start to see the Olympic torch relay coming, as we start to see the Royal Victoria Marathon hitting the numbers that they are as its 30th anniversary, now is the time when Victoria has an opportunity to showcase itself to the world that this provincial capital is a world-class city. And I want to thank all the organizers who have made that possible and are starting to make that vision of Victoria come true. Thank you for all the people who have started to put that together. Now, the interesting thing is we saw the lady who was 80. I had to laugh. I mean, her time is basically my 10K time. Although as Al Farabee said, he said they still clock me with a calendar, so I'm not doing too bad on that part. But the people that I also want to recognize, we're going to see some interesting times here. There's no doubt about it. We're going to see some world records here, and we're going to celebrate that. But let's remember, there's 12,000 people running out there, and they're running for the sheer joy and pleasure that it brings. They're running for their health, they're running for themselves, they're running as part of a community. And speaking of community, you then have, and I believe the number is around 1,400 volunteers. And again, we're speaking to Victoria's time to shine. These are the people that stand up and make events like this happen. And I remember people who dragged their couches out on the road, have their cup of coffee, waved to everybody, cheer. I mean, it's a great opportunity to showcase every neighborhood and every part of Victoria as people run through it. Recognizing that certainly Victoria has beautiful natural landscapes, certainly Victoria has amazing built architecture, but it's truly the people of Victoria that make this capital city special. And the last piece I want to recognize especially around the marathon is the fact that this marathon is more than just running, and just running for yourself and your health, and running for that sense of community. It's running to celebrate and to help charities. We have these charities here, and let me say that each and every one of these charities make a difference. Each and every one of these charities change someone's life for the better. And this is a fantastic opportunity for us as a running community, as a Greater Victoria community, to celebrate and to help support all of these charities.
And our sincere thanks to you, Your Worship, for taking the time out of your day as well for being here. We appreciate that very much. And at this time, I'd like you to please welcome the Honorary Chair of the Charity Pledge Program, Mr. Al Ferraby.
Okay, thank you so much. Truly, I'm just a figurehead of what the Charity Pledge Program is all about. There's, and we mentioned a couple of people here today, but if you are representing a charity, can you just please identify yourselves by raising your hand? These are frontline people. These are people that are truly making a difference in our community by being a part of the Charity Pledge Program. And I don't know who, yeah, give them a round of applause. I know this idea came from like a number of different marathons that took place south of the border. Los Angeles comes to mind. There's a few others, and they decided to put two and two together on this one. And really, it's all about doing something really good for yourself and taking part, but also giving back to the community too. And if you know this community at all, this is a community that's very, very good at doing that very thing. So have a good look. If you don't already know the charities involved, these are great charities with really, really great people. And being the honorary chair, it was a great opportunity to learn some of the stories and some of the reasons why people decided to do this, and some of them are very, very, very personal stories, very emotional stories as to why they got involved. We're talking about Olympic rowers who have diabetes, who are doing a marathon. People that are as young as, Maureen, how young is our Santa's Anonymous youngest runner? 4. So everybody does this for different reasons, and I think that's what makes this so successful is just taking it on to give back to the community.
This is our opportunity to do a couple of things. The first is to acknowledge all of the volunteer horsepower that makes this run come alive and one of the most exciting events in our community. The other is to thank the very important people that make that happen. Vivian Chenard and Anita Rivard from Thrifty Foods. We couldn't do this run without your support, your corporate support. Thank you so much. As well, we have Carl Ulrich from Oak Bay Bicycles, who donates 4 bikes for the draw for the children. This run has been an incredible opportunity for Kids Sport to gain profile in the community. Do you know that 1 in 5 children live in poverty in this beautiful city of ours? And so Kids Sport is very proud to have a crew of volunteers, and all we do is try and become the charity of choice of well-run events such as this one. And to have Rob Reed, Kathy Noel, and Sandy Heel, Louise Hodgson-Jones bring their support to it and bring us into the fold of this event was incredibly invaluable. 8 years ago, we had 200 kids. Vivian Chenard said to me, I want 1,000 kids in this run. And I gulped, and we looked at each other and said, well, we'll get right on that. Well, I'm happy to tell you that this is unprecedented. Yesterday at lunchtime, we got the word that we had 803 children pre-registered. Prior to that, the pre-registered number doubled on the late registration. And if that's the case, our crew of volunteers will be faced with 1,600 people, and we have 1,000 race numbers. I'll keep you posted how that works out for us.